Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my latest video about Anderson the Spider Silva. And basically, we're going to kick this video off talking about Anderson Silva's decision to return to MMA after he had his leg brutally snapped when Chris Weidman threw up a check on a leg kick. And basically, the night of the fight, when we saw Anderson screaming in agony, just a sad scene to see of a legend in the sport. A lot of fans, including myself, were wondering, is that the way Anderson Silva is going to go out? And apparently not. He said his family wanted him to retire, and he said that it's not his time to retire yet, basically, and he would like to come back. And he wants to fight Roy Jones. Still, this is a super fight. Anderson keeps talking about as Roy Jones is one of his idols, the boxer Roy Jones Jr. And Anderson keeps saying he wants to fight him, and when he comes back, he wants to box Roy Jones, which I think is a mistake as an Anderson Silva fan. Um, if Anderson wants to get his third straight loss, then he can take the fight with Roy Jones Jr. Because in a straight-up boxing match, Roy Jones Jr. will destroy Anderson Silva. Even though Roy Jones is well past his prime, he still will have no problem defeating Anderson Silva in a boxing match. With that being said, though, I am glad to see Anderson wanting to come back. I mean, it is his decision, really. So that's going to lead us into another question. Does Anderson Silva deserve an immediate rematch with Chris Weidman? And we saw the first fight, what happened when Anderson had his hands low and was taunting Chris Weidman, and Chris Weidman knocked him out cold. And basically, that ended the run of Anderson Silva as one of the greatest UFC champions ever. And a lot of people said Anderson was getting too cocky that fight, which he did overdo it, obviously. I mean, he got caught. But another point that people, I don't think they understand about Anderson's style is he keeps his hands low so he can sprawl when wrestlers try to take him down. And also, he's taunting his opponent to get them off their game, which works a lot in other fights he had. That's how he got to be so successful in the sport, is implementing that tactic, which is kind of Roy Jones like actually in his boxing days, some of the stuff he does. So, yeah. And then in the second fight, you had Chris Weidman and Anderson come out, and Chris Weidman dropped Anderson in the first and completely dominated Anderson. And then the second round started, and Anderson threw that leg kick. And basically my reaction was, damn, did that just happen right now? That is disgusting and just shocking to see, like I was stating earlier. And basically, that's why this whole rematch talk is still coming up, because you would think, a guy's 2-0 against his opponent. Why would there even be a third fight? And a lot of the MMA fans considered it a fluke that he beat Anderson that way. While it is very rare that a fighter's leg would break like that, Chris Weidman did throw up a technique to basically check Anderson's leg kick. So it was a legit technique. It's just the outcome is totally different than you normally see. And basically that brings me up to my point. Does Anderson deserve an immediate rematch? And if there's any fighter in the history of the sport that does, it's Anderson the Spider Silva. This guy just had an amazing run in the UFC. He defeated Rich Franklin twice. He defeated Vitor Belfort. You look at what Vitor Belfort is doing now to opponents, just destroying them. He beat Chael Sonnen twice. He beat Dan Henderson, a legend of the sport, just to name a few. And if any fighter deserves it, it's Anderson the Spider Silva. And the only thing is, though, me personally as a fan of him, if I was Anderson, he's going to be gone for quite a while. I'd personally take one fight before I fought Chris Weidman again for the third time. Because there might be doubts in his mind, basically, after what happened to him. And that's not the time and place to be having doubts when you're coming back, fighting a guy who just beat you twice. So I definitely think if he was to come back, he should take a fight first and see how he is, and then fight Chris Weidman if that's what the UFC wants. But the part about deserving a fight with Chris Weidman for the third time, like I said, he's the best in the history of the UFC, in my opinion. So he definitely has earned the right. Basically, I want to leave you guys with the question, do you think Anderson should come back? And what do you think his reasons are for coming back? And do you think he deserves a third fight with Chris Weidman? And would you guys be interested in watching that? Please let me know what you guys think. And also, I just want to add, I was completely disgusted when he lost his first fight. Some of these Anderson Silva fans just completely threw him under the bus and talked bad about the man who they were supposed to be a fan of. I just want to say, always support your fighters, win or lose. These guys train their ass off. You know, they put on great shows for us as a fan, so support them, win or lose. That's all I want to say. And thanks for checking out my video, guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks again.